Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm Javiera Tejerina. I'm the project manager of the postdoctoral program CIVIS3I, and I'm here to share the experience of this project, of one of the first satellite projects in research of the CIVIS Alliance. Okay, so I will briefly present the CIVIS3I program, and then I will give the floor to different recipients. We will first hear Daria Diakonova here, historian and current CIVIS3I fellow at the Sapienza. Then we will hear Christian Masset, curator at the British Museum and former fellow at Université Libre de Bruxelles. And then we will have the floor to Laura Barducci, associate professor at Sapienza, and the PI of the current fellow Gonzalo Oteo. And then we will have some time for discussions. So first, a little recap of what is CIVIS3I. It's a postdoctoral mobility and training program. It's a co-funded program with 4 European funding partners. It's Aix-Marseille University, the coordinator of the program, Université Libre de Bruxelles, La Sapienza, Universidad Autónoma de Madrid. It is ruled by the under age 2020 rules, the former European rules, and is part of the prestigious MSA Maria Curie Action Program. It has a budget of 4.7 million euros to hire 32 postdoctoral researchers for a 2 years contract. And there is 2 calls. It was 2 calls during the project in all fields of science. The idea of the program is to foster international collaboration within the research and science to make better science in Europe. Within a network of 10 universities and within 10 universities countries, European countries, sorry. The idea is to promote training within and beyond academia, and we have a network of more than 20 associated partners. The timeline of the project was in June 2021 until July 2025 for a total duration of 50 months, but we have to ask an extended deadline, extended end date of the program because we have some different issues that I will relate to you, show you. This is the Gantt chart of the project. We have the different part of it, and we can see we have a very successful call. For the first call, we have over 300 applications. And we face some difficulties for the evaluation process. So we have some delay on the project. And then we have also, as you might know, we are talking about international researchers. We have some delay with some visa issues. So we asked for finishing the project at the end of April 2026. So this is more or less the different part of the project. In 2021, we launched the program, the website, the application, and then 2022, we have the evaluation process, and 2023, the call, the dissemination of the call, the second call, hiring the people, and there is different work packages that have through the timeline of the project. So some numbers, as I said, we have 300 applications for 16 positions, 2 years positioning within the 4 universities that I mentioned. Gender, I don't know if gender equal, there were 65 applicants from not European countries. And there was like 16 fellows selected, 9 in social science, 7 in hard science, overall gender balance. Well, first of all, excellent research funded, of course, and I would like to introduce you to the website. You can see all the different projects and profiles of the researchers. I will not talk about it. And then we have the second call, and the second call we have 150 applications for all the science. And you see there was less female applicants than for the precedent call. We have 10 men and 7 women, and 9 in social science and 8 in hard science. Of course, excellent research was funded in different areas. And as I said, the program foster mobility, but also training, as it is a Marie Curie action. So it's the training is very important, and we have training inside the labs and the universities, host universities of the applicant of the fellowship of the fellows. But we also, in the program, we need to give collective training on transferable skills, which are very important for this kind of course. So we have a first spring training session about open science, supervision, and grant writing and ethics in Marseille. Then we have we make together the second and third autumn collective training. We have 18 participants. It was more focused on lab leadership, career development, DMP, data management plan, communication skills. And then lately we did the 4th spring collective training. This time we did it at Université Libre de Bruxelles, which was a very interesting collaboration, because I am working at Aix-Marseille University, and we managed to create with the European team at ULB a kind of writing retreat, where we invited the selected research of the second call to come with a project that they would like to apply either for ERC or Marie Curie or any other application. So we have the whole team together, and we have like pitching session of the project, and we have like a different feedbacks, and it was very interesting. And I think that overall it was kind of very interesting for the participants. Which is important for the program is the employability. As we said, we are training people. There is a budget for mobility to go to different universities to foster collaborations, and the idea is to have a high rate of employability. So all the first calls have already finished. There are 24 months of fellowship, and most of either they are looking for new positions, or they have an extended position in their own lab, or they want to apply for for excellence applications within their countries or region. Over the 33 recruited researchers, we have 7 researchers who drop out for a permanent position, either in the academia or outside the academia. So there is a public, the project is also, of course, focused on publications and scientific communication. We have 70 full articles in the high repository of CIVIS3I. What it was, one of the conditions of the program is that each fellow who was hired, he or she has to have 2 articles after the fellowship. The fellow has visiting prestigious institutions with the help of the supporting fund for the international collaboration. Researchers have been interviewed or have written in different newspapers and media or TV. There are 5 books that are going to be published next year, and some other chapters in different books. Several events and symposia are being organized by the fellows in the host universities and also in prestigious institutions. Of course, numerous worldwide conferences and outreach activities for the public, either in schools, other universities, or events like Nuit de Chercheurs. We have a community communication strategy. We have the website, CIVIS website, that I invite you to visit to see the profile of the different researchers who were hired and got the fellowship. We have a newsletter via the CIVIS network, who I've been working lately with them. We have at Aix-Marseille University a communication strategy, and I finally we are making some interviews and portraits of the researchers in Aix-Marseille University, and one of our online magazine that is called Infuse. When international level, of course, we have some connection with the MSAA PCN, and we have the production of a film that we have to make soon with some of the results of the project. For the executive board, as I wanted to say, this project is more like a top-down project. It was more an idea that it came from the from the deputy rectors of research in the university involved. And so here at Aix-Marseille University, Sapienza, ULB, and Universidad Autónoma de Madrid. And so we have a first application in 2019 that it was rejected by the European Union, and then we have been successfully funded in 2020. We have operational level. We are a project management team. We are 4 people working in a different university in order to coordinate the different projects, the HR problems, the mobility, and the research grant that fellows have received. So thank you very much for listening to me and for your attention. And now is the time for the fellow presentations, who will give you more an insight about the project from the recipients.
Thanks a lot for your answer. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I need to find the size of this. I will just update. Okay, all right. So my name is Daria, and I will tell you about my project, which is on the transnational networks of the Communist Women's Movement during the interwar period. It's not a propaganda session, don't run away. Yeah, I'm just presenting my research here. But perhaps before I speak about communist women, I will say a few words about myself. I'm a current CIVIS3I fellow. I started in April 2024, so I still have like more or less another year to go with this fellowship. So I'm a historian, right? So my PhD was in history. I did it at the University of Montreal in Canada. In 2020, it was also on communists, on transnational ties of Canadian communists during the interwar period. As I knew I was moving for family reasons back to Europe, I started looking at different funding opportunities that were out there, and I applied for Marie Curie action 2 times, unsuccessfully, unfortunately. But I sort of kept keeping an eye on what kind of programs European Commission has to offer. And I came across the CIVIS3I application, and actually it worked perfectly well for me because I identified someone I already knew from before at Sapienza University at the Saros department here. It's an interdisciplinary department which brings together history, art history, theater and cinema studies, and anthropology. We prepared an application. It didn't get funded at the first attempt. Perhaps because I did not contact Rosa Di Stefano and the research office here at the Sapienza, which is amazing, really, and I'll have a chance to talk about this later. But perhaps if I have done so at the very beginning, I would have perhaps succeeded with the first attempt. But anyway, I got funded. I got the good news in 2023. I started in 2024. And in the meantime, I got a position as faculty in Geneva, in Switzerland. That's where I lived before. And I was teaching at the Department of International Relations. And I taught there until 2024. All right, so now let me go back to my communist women. Okay, so basically, this international communist women's movement remains largely unknown today. And yet they formulated very radical, especially for the time, demands that included total equality of men and women and integration of women fully into all spheres of life, politics, socially, and in family, empowerment of women within families. So basically, the whole project is to kind of shed light on this virtually unknown movement. And the idea here is that, well, basically we now know a lot about feminist movements, right? We know about like suffragists of the first wave. We know a lot about second wave feminists. And somehow socialist women, left-wing women are excluded from this narrative. And we have this kind of impression that feminism was all about, liberal women, predominantly white, middle class, sort of fighting for their demands. But in reality, there was also a women worker movement, and that's what my research is about. Javiera, do you keep track of time? Because I sometimes get carried away. Okay. So CIVIS3I projects, one of the main requirements for CIVIS3I projects is to be interdisciplinary. So I'm a historian, but this project also engages with other social sciences, specifically with feminist theory and social theory. It also adopts a decolonial approach. So basically, I'm not only looking at Western women, but I'm looking at the East and Southern women and how they contributed to the global movement for women's rights during the interwar period. And I'm also using feminist theory and actually critically engaging with and interrogating some concepts and currents within feminist theory, such as discrimination, oppression, capitalist patriarchy, sexuality and reproduction, maternal feminism, and social reproduction. All right, so I'm a historian. The work of a historian consists of going to the archives. Sometimes we also do oral history, but that's not what I'm doing because, my object of study is the interwar period. So unfortunately, none of the people who were active at that time are alive. So I use archives. And I have identified 6 archives. 6 countries, actually, where there are archives that are relevant for this research in 6 different languages that I either speak or read. And one of them is in Rome. It's a Gramsci archive in Rome. So this was also one of the reasons why I picked Rome as my host institution. In yellow, you see the archives that I have already where I have already done research in Rome, Geneva, Zurich, and also Moscow. And that's one of the most interesting and intriguing part of this research, to look basically at the document of the Communist International, because the International Communist Women's Movement was part of the Communist International, right? And this archive is extremely broad, well organized, and has material from basically all countries where communist parties were active and in which communist women were active as well. And I'm also using the press, communist women's press in different countries. Okay, so yeah, so it's been a bit more than 1 year, but I think I have already, oh yeah, you can't see the whole of it, but yeah, I guess it's not yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so Javiera mentioned that we have to produce 2 articles. I already have 3. Well, they're not all out yet, but they will be by the end of the fellowship. And I have also presented at 7 international conferences. 3 of them were by invitation. So I think CIVIS3I, and the fact of having this funding, which is part of the MSCA scheme, is kind of attractive, prestigious, and yeah, basically people want you to come and speak, and participate in events. I have also organized a conference here at Sapienza, in this very room, actually, in February 2025. And this was really great. We had over 40 participants from all continents, actually. Well, Latin American ones participated online, but still they were there. And it was on left-wing women's movements and organizing in the 20th century. Not just communists, but all left-wing women. And we're preparing, with my co-organizer, we're preparing 2 issues, special issues of a journal based on those papers. And yeah, I have those 2 articles which are forthcoming, and even one in Spanish. I didn't write it in Spanish, but it was translated into Spanish and will be published in Spain. All right. I think I'm a bit stuck here. Yeah, okay. All right, so another kind of important aspect of CIVIS3I action is that the projects have something to do with societies and somehow improve policy, or, well, basically bring something to societies at large and not just to the academic community. So basically what my research does is that it looks at those, radical demands formulated by women over 100 years ago, which unfortunately remain unrealized today. These are the demands for protection of women at work, maternity leaves, public daycare, equal pay for equal work, yeah, and many other things, that reproductive rights, right, the one I have here, that is access to free and medicalized abortions, but also access to free and medicalized deliveries. So a lot of those demands remain relevant today, and feminists around the world still fight for these demands. So the idea with this project is to foster a better understanding and awareness of multiple levels of gender-based inequality, and to shed light on progressive solutions to all those pressing problems on a global scale. Because, as I said, communist women were active in a lot of countries around the world. I have recently seen some documents from Japan, India, China. So it's not just, you know, European or North American movement. All right, let me now say a few words about the fellowship itself and how it was organized. So my host university is here, Sapienza, and my host is Professor Marco Di Maggio, who is Professor of Contemporary History at Sarah's department. So what Sapienza provided was the possibility of research, right? For instance, the Gramsci archives that I mentioned, infrastructure, like access to all the university infrastructure, library, computers, etc., etc. The possibility of networking. And during the first year of my fellowship, I could meet a lot of colleagues from the department, but also outside of the department, people working in gender history, in communist history, and I got a chance to do a few presentations in classes at Sapienza. And I organized this conference that I talked about, which my department and my funding from CIVIS3I supported. I also had a secondment because CIVIS3I has, so you're supposed to have a host university, a co-host university, and a secondment. I'm going actually in chronological sequence. So my secondment was at the Geneva Graduate Institute of International and Development Studies, where I became a research affiliate. So I have very good contacts with this institution as well. I participated in workshops there. I also did research in Geneva. And also Geneva is a very good place for intersectoral networking. That is meeting people from NGOs and international organizations and other policy-oriented institutions. Finally, my co-host will be University of Glasgow. I haven't been there yet, but well, I have, but I haven't started my fellowship there. But I'm in touch with my co-host, Professor Maud Breck, who is a leading specialist in gender history, reproduction rights history. And we will probably organize a small event at Glasgow University as well. So once again, she suggested that I do presentations for the students, but also for the larger university community. The Center for Gender History at Glasgow University is also known for its ties with different women's rights NGOs. So there'll be another possibility for intersectoral networking. And yes, as I said, there will be a workshop related to my research and questions around reproductive rights, and also state support to mothers. All right. So I will probably go very fast through this because yeah, Javier already talked about the CIVIS schools that we had in October in Marseille and in May in Brussels, which were really great. I really enjoyed. Well, I couldn't attend like the whole of the second workshop due to other obligations, but I really enjoyed the writing workshop that we had. And yeah, what's important is that Javiera also asked us to give her feedback, right, on how we, appreciated the two schools, and this was very important because I think it helps improve, right, the program in the future. But generally, it was very positive. Okay, all right. So what's next? Yeah. One of the things I'm doing next is applying for a Global Marie Curie Fellowship with Sapienza and York University in Canada. And we had an amazing workshop prepared by Rosa and Elisa, who's Rosa's colleague here at the research office. So I'm very grateful to both of them. I'm also preparing for other postdoctoral applications. And I was offered a permanent part-time faculty position in Geneva and currently considering it because, well, it's permanent, but it's part-time, so I'm thinking. So yeah, I guess I'm done with what I wanted to present today. Thanks a lot
Thank
for your attention.
Thank you. So now we're going to pass to Christian Mazet, who is the current curator, curator at the British Museum. As I said, former fellow of University Libre de Bruxelles, and he will talk directly. Nous entend?
Oui. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Javiera. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Great. Yes, so I'm very glad to be with you online. I'm very sorry not to be able to join on site. So when Javiera asked me to participate to this CIVIS days, I was very happy because it's a way for me also to share with you my experience about what has been for me this fellowship, and also how it leads me to my current positions that I started just 5 months ago. So in reality, I just did one year of this CIVIS fellowship in 2024. I was one of the second call fellows. First, I will present to you my academic background, my research, and what leads me also to the choices that I've made for this CIVIS fellowship, and Javiera asked me also to present to you what it is to work in a non-academic environment now. So let's begin. Just to present myself, two words first. So I'm an archaeologist, an historian of ancient art, mostly working on on the archaic Mediterranean, so Greek and Etruscan and Italic cultures, and I'm also an historian of archaeology. I've been trained in Paris mostly. I'm French. In museology and ancient art at the École du Louvre. So I was, since the beginning of my studies, totally immersed in museum studies. And then I did a PhD at the École pratique des hautes études, very French high school, higher school, let's say. So I had my PhD in 2020, and I worked mostly in a very classical archaeology theme linked to the orientalizing iconography of the hybridity between women and animals in the orientalizing Mediterranean. So just a few. So it was mostly related to Greek and Etruscan iconography. But during my PhD in Paris, I was also, in order to pay for my studies, I was also a PhD fellow at the Institut National d'Histoire de l'Art, where I was able in reality to work part-time on other topics than my PhD. And it opened me to a wide range of subjects in my field, and also to history of collections and history of archaeology, working mostly on a program at the INHA linked to the auction sales of antiquities in the 19th century in France, mostly. And it's like that for my postdoc position, I gathered together two research topics. iconography, Greek archaeology, and history of collecting and archaeology. Um, yes, so in order to think about a postdoc topic that could be that could integrate these themes. But what I have to say is that during my PhD also, this position at the NHA opened me to other fields, and so I was able also to publish some articles and studies related to history of collecting, and also I think it was what helped me to have a curriculum that allowed me to win some postdoc position. I think it's important to say that we have to be also proactive at the end of our PhD in order to be able to be challengers in these postdoc positions. So just few works that I've done during my PhD here. In fact, before winning the CIVIS fellows, I did other postdoc position. I think like a lot of us also as in the fellows team of the CIVIS program. So from 2019 to 2022, I was a scientific fellow at the École Française de Rome. So I moved to Rome and I had the chance to work in this wonderful Palazzo Farnese and in Piazza Navona, the French School of Rome, when I developed a PhD, a postdoc project on the Bonaparte excavations in Vulci. In reality, the excavations of the excavation in southern Etruria in the 19th century, in the first half of the 19th century, of the brother of Napoleon Bonaparte, Lucien Bonaparte, and his wife Alexandrine de Bléchamp. This excavation in reality are seminal for the history of archaeology and museum collections, because they put on the antiquities market thousands of vases, Greek vases mostly, Etruscan bronzes, Etruscan jewels that now populate our own great museums collection of antiquities. And so I was lucky. So it was also linked with my previous work at the NHA because one of the most important fact about this excavation is that there was a dispersion in the 19th century of these vases with the auction sales that I just told you about. So it was, and now I was also lucky enough to find the archives. So like Daria, I was also working as an historian with the archives. And I found this huge archive in Perugia that allowed me to work on the history of these excavations. Archives with a lot of also of drawings of vases, inscriptions. Really a big project that just in 3 years I had no time to discover all the facets of it. So I thought it was important for me to develop it in several topics that could lead me also to other postdoc position. And but I began to work at the end of this first postdoc on several publications. I applied to prizes also that I won, and so I arrived in this second part of my postdoc life, let's say, with some strong luggage, I think. And it allows me also to begin to work directly with Sapienza, and by organizing some study days and also an exhibition in the Sapienza with a professor of archaeology that probably in the Sapienza you know well, Laura Maria Michetti, the professores of Etruscologia e Antichità Italiche. Yes, so I did several. It leads me also to do other stuff related to museum studies, like the study of the collection of antiquities from the French School of Rome. Just before the CIVIS position, the CIVIS fellow, I was doing 1 year before ESC at the Department of Scienze dell'Antichità della Sapienza Università di Roma. So it allowed me this before ESC is also a great program that the Sapienza developed in order to launch ideas for a Marie Curie, for example. But also it's like that I was able to know the CIVIS program thanks to my professor Laura Michetti. And so I decided, so I applied and I won the second call. I was, yes, since I was in Italy, I applied for going to Brussels, and I was hosted in January 2024 at the Université Libre de Bruxelles at the Créa Patrimoine in this lovely labs related to Greek vases. And with the co-host university Sapienza Università di Roma in order to keep a foot in Italy, and with a secondment also at the British Museum in order to have this wider view on museums between the academic world and the non-academic world. And I developed a research project called POTS, Pottery Translocation Stories from Southern Etruria to Worldwide Museums, a biography of dislocated archaeological artifacts. In reality, it was a way for me to build bridges with the previous work I have done, and then also to foster a new, let's say, a wider view on my topics.
Christian, can we please hurry up a little bit?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. I have 15 minutes, right? It's okay. So now I just take 5 minutes to conclude. So my project was mainly based on an assessment is that a lot of data on which archaeologists rely were widely scattered. And so my project was to build a new methodology to contextualize these artifacts by an interplay between provenance research, the autoptical analysis of the vases in museum, and a proper return to the archaeological field. And so it's and with the main question, why dealing with Greek pots in Etruscan context? So I passed very quickly on that aspect. Just in order to say that if you are applying to a CIVIS position, you have to really make clear all the content and the thematic question that you want to ask in your postdoc application. This development of my research related to museum led me also to work directly in big museums and also to develop first. So during this postdoc, this CIVIS postdoc, first it allowed me also to co-direct a first archaeological excavation in Vulci itself. Thanks to the support of the CIVIS program and the Université Libre de Bruxelles, where I developed a lot of partnerships with the Sapienza, with the École Française de Rome, and the Italian authorities. And it leads, the first campaign leads to big results that now are in the process of being published. It also allowed me to participate to exhibitions, to organize study days, to participate to conferences, and to finish a book that will be published this year about the Bonaparte excavation, putting in it all the research that I have been able to do in this first in this 1 year of research during in the CIVIS program, let's say. And so, in order to conclude, I had sadly but happily also to conclude my CIVIS experience just after 1 year of postdoc, because I was lucky enough to be appointed as the new curator for the Cultures of Italy and Western Mediterranean at the Department of Greece and Rome at the British Museum. It is a permanent position, so I'm in charge now on all the, so it's great for an archaeologist specialized in Etruscology. I'm in charge now of all the Etruscan and Italic collection, but also the Western Greek collection of the British Museum. So in a wide range of material culture now, I continue to lead my research in Vulci. So the first research that I developed with the CIVIS fellowship, now I'm trying to integrate it in the research programs of the British Museums. So we will excavate next month in Vulci itself. After the geophysics part of last year, we will open a new excavation, and I continue my research related to Vulci, also directly linked to the collections of the British Museums. So presenting here one of the most important assemblage grave tombs from Vulci that have been purchased by the British Museum in the 19th century. And in order to conclude, I finish, Javiera. Let's say the collaboration that I did also, that I tried to foster in this different postdoc and in the CIVIS postdoc position, allow me also now to have a solid network in Italy, in Europe, and I will use also this network, this international network, to develop one of the first, in reality, the first exhibition project in the UK linked to the Etruscan collections and linked to Etruria. So it will be organized, I hope, between Italy and the British Museum in the next years. It has been approved a few months ago. I tried to be very fast.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the exhibition. Laura, maybe you can come and join, please. Professor Laura Barducci from Sapienza.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. So I am Laura Parducci, and I'm the PI of this project that was presented to me by the leader, actually, of the project, that is Dr. Gonzalo Oteo Garcia, that is currently at the University of Stockholm. So as you see here, so the main host is our lab in Sapienza University, And the other co-host is the Center for Paleogenetics in Stockholm University, where Dr. Gonzalo is currently working now. So why should I present you for the Ancient DNA Lab that we actually don't have a plan, a picture of a plan? Because the reason why Gonzalo is actually working together with me currently at Stockholm University is that we are in a state of building a new lab for ancient DNA studies here at Sapienza University. And so what you see on the left here, it's actually the plan that we, of the structure of the lab that we plan to have on very soon, and maybe in 1 year from today. We hope so. So this project was started by Dr. Gonzalo Oteo Garcia, who contacted me in 2022. Probably he will be online and maybe adjust what I'm saying, because I don't remember exactly how it went, because we had to wait a bit for the response from this second call, actually. I will tell about this a bit more. So Gonzalo contacted me some years ago, probably 21 or 22, and told me that he was a postdoc working at University of Parma in Italy, and that he wanted to continue as a postdoc here in Italy. So he told me and suggested that we could apply together to this call, the second call of this CIVIS3I. The second call. He was really independent. He just came to me with an almost ready project. And the project you see here, the title Orbis to Orbis, and maybe he will tell you a bit more what is it about, but more in general, I can say that it's about using advanced molecular techniques like DNA, ancient DNA, on human remains and using bones from human remains of different ages from Valencia city. This is a site because he is a Spanish, this is a site, and his own city is actually Valencia. So this is a site where he has a lot of contact, and a particular site where he found a lot of remains of different ages, really from, as we see here, soldiers from Tertonian War to late Roman tombs to Visigothics. So really very different periods, material from very different periods. And he is using bones and dental calculus from teeth, and also teeth from human remains to study, and genotypes humans remains from very different periods of time, because Valencia has a very active immigration history of people in his sites. And in these tombs that he retrieved this material, that was very interesting, because you can really see the whole history and retrieve humans remains at different ages. So he contacted me because he knew that I was working with ancient DNA, but since I have been also working a lot abroad and returned to Italy some years ago, actually just before he contacted me, I didn't have an ancient DNA lab ready. As I said, we are planning to build one. So he proposed in his project to do his work in the ancient DNA lab at the co-host institution, that is the Paleogenetic Center in Stockholm University. So we started this collaboration. I already had contact with these people because I've been living in Sweden for 25 years before returning to Italy, and I already knew these people. He has been working there since February 2024, as you see here, and so he's in his first. He ended his first year in February, so he's now in his second year, and he has been already very, very productive. And I think this collaboration has been particularly very profitable, especially for me. So he has been working here. You see just some preliminary results about extraction of DNA, amount of DNA extracted from different bones and teeth and dental calculus remains that he has been extracting in the lab. What we have been here, you see a list of things that I think it's very important that we achieve during this time. So apart from his work in the lab, of course, there is also the thing that he will develop new techniques that we hoped he will be able to bring in our lab when he will return, because he plans to return here, we hope so. Apart from, of course, that we have been writing grants together for searching for new grants and networking and starting new collaboration. What he has done during this period together with me, it was also to host himself master in English, master and PhD students that were working with me, because I was lacking this DNA lab. So all the students that were coming to me and asking for doing some traineeship or this type, then I was referring them to their lab in Stockholm. In Stockholm, they were very positive to this. So we had 2 master students and 1 PhD students that have been training in the lab during this year that he was there working together with me. And another thing that it was very profitable for me was that since we were designing at that time when we started the lab, the ancient DNA lab. Ancient DNA lab are particular labs, very, very different from normal molecular lab, because you required really stringent protocols, and it's an environment completely closed where you wear particular suits and clothes for working, and special protocols and so on. So it requires a lot of training, and also it requires a lot of planning, where to put the instruments, how to move within the lab, and so on. So he was very helpful to planning and designing the lab here in Rome, where I hope he will be able to work when he will come back. He has been, of course, here in Italy many times, but most of the time he has been working in this lab in Stockholm. Here we see people that has been working together with him. Here we have Sophia, that has done basically as a free mover, because she had no opportunity at that time to apply for Erasmus money, but she moved as a free mover to the lab in Stockholm and worked with Gonzalo together for several months, 5 months. And below you see Francesca, that is currently there, and she's doing also with Erasmus money. She moved to do their thesis work and thesis lab work in the ancient DNA lab together with Gonzalo. And also Elisa, yeah, she is clapping here a reindeer, and she's very active in also going around in Sweden, really enjoy the weather and the landscapes. But in any case, she's doing part of her PhD that she started with me in November last year, and she's already been in the lab. The reason all these people is there is actually that I'm lacking right now a lab, but it has been very profitable from this point of view, because they have been training very well, because this is a very established lab where they have learned and we bring back a lot of knowledge. So I'm very happy for that. So here you see ongoing and future collaboration that we plan to have, of course, and continue to have with all these people, because Spain was also very much involved in all this, collaboration. So it was Spain, Sweden, and Italy together working. So maybe I can give some words just to Gonzalo. I don't know if he's active online. I see that he's
Yes.
Yeah.
You are. I say it as much as I could, Gonzalo, about your project, but I really have to say that he was the main driver of the whole things here.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah, I think I don't know how much time I have, and you've said a lot.
3 minutes, a couple of minutes.
3 minutes. Less than 5.
Yeah, so long story short, yeah, for me, I think the great thing of CIVIS has been that I finished my PhD at the time of the pandemic, so I got stuck in my own country. I was in the UK, so complications with Brexit. So I was left in a bit of a limbo. I was planning to stay in the UK, continue my career there, but for combination of pandemic and Brexit, like that really went off the boat. And then I did this short postdoc in Italy. before I found the CIVIS school application. But after I was, let's say I was without a job by the time when I did the CIVIS application, and then it took a bit longer than expected to get it. But when I got it, that was great. It was really good news, and I guess it's been great because the feeling of being independent and having some actual research money to do things. It had something that I had been trying to pursue since I had finished my PhD like a couple of years before, and the feeling is great, and it's been way more dynamic than I thought, which implies a lot of work. But I'm a bit stressed with all the work, but it's good news because everything has been moving forward and we have results. Like Laura has mentioned, there's like 3 planned publications. No, I think there's already 3 publications produced, and then we have 3 more in the making, and a couple of them are related to the work that master students have done here over the last year or something. So that's great because we've been able to integrate them very well, and they've been productive, and I hope they will bring back skills back there and land PhD positions or whatever they want to do in the future. And yeah, my summary is that I think we are really making the most of the mobility aspect of the CIVIS because we really have an intense back and forth between Rome and the main host in Rome and the co-host here in Sweden. And I think I'm very happy for that because that strengthened a lot the project, the results, and the capability of things that we can do. And then I hope to bring back a lot of what we're learning here back into Rome when we get the lab started. Yeah, so I think that's mostly my summary of my CIVIS experience. Like it really
Thank
brought
you
me
very
to
much, Gonzalo. I don't know, do you want to add something or do you want to add something? No, it's okay.
No, I think that's my summary.
Okay, thank you very much, Gonzalo.
No worries. Thank you.
I think there was a delay on the beginning of the session because we wanted to have some questions from the audience, but I think we're like, we need to leave the room. Yes, but I just wanted to show you how the impact of the CIVIS3I project in 3 different study cases with different point of view, either the PI here, Laura Barducci, Professor Laura Barducci, the ongoing, 2 ongoing research, and 1 person with working outside the academia, which is also one of the results that we wanted in the project. So thank you very much for being here.